This is John Bailey, the epic voice of Honest Trailers, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. It's a Fangirls podcast with five-ish people. The tangents and squee will continue. Squee.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 212 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And yes, we humans are very stubborn. Welcome everyone to this week's and year's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So guys, let's start off like we do every week by going to the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Bethlehem.
This is Sally from Wisconsin.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! Hello!
First show of 2019.
Yippee!
Hopefully, everyone had a good Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Festivus, whatever it is you celebrate. And you did not overindulge too much on New Year's. I did. Just a little.
I had a lazy.
We were playing this new card game, the strategy card, World War II themed strategy card game that Chauncey got off Kickstarter, and I won twice.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Were you then kindly asked to leave said table?
Yeah. Almost. That's pretty impressive considering I had been indulging in the adult beverages. So, yes,
so
my New Year's.
So the strategy was to have you imbibe and not realize what you were doing, and it backfired?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know what everybody else's strategy was, but I just played my way and it worked. So that was all before the clock struck midnight. So I finished off 2018 on a high note. It's been not too bad ever since. So
well, that's good.
And hopefully Santa brought you all the geeky presents that you asked for.
Including a TARDIS trash can. Which I didn't know that was a thing, but I got that for Christmas. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because I was telling people, like, what they asked me what I wanted. I was like, well, I need a trash can, but I don't necessarily want one for Christmas, you know?
Yeah.
And then that was like, oh, okay. I kind of like that trash can.
Ask and you shall receive.
And like, when you open it, it lights up, and it does, and it has the brakes are on.
Nice.
I have a TARDIS cookie jar that's the same way.
Oh, nice.
I have a Doctor Who.
You open it up.
I also have a Doctor Who trash can that it's not the TARDIS. It's from the Matt Smith era, so it's got Matt's Doctor in the Asylum of the Daleks. Oh, cool. But when you throw something away, it either makes the TARDIS, wheezing noise, or it's a Dalek going, "You are an enemy of the Daleks. You shall be destroyed." So I always know when Chauncey's throwing something away. Available at Who North America, I think, if they still have them in stock. We've had it for a couple of years, but I think they still have some. I don't know. They got a whole buttload of them, so they asked whoever they got their supply from. They ordered like 20, and they sent them like 100 accidentally. So they might still have them. So if anyone wants a talking Doctor Who trash can and you like the 11th Doctor, there you go.
You can we can hook you up.
Yep. Who North America.
Mm-hmm.
Go see them and tell them we sent you.
Yes.
Won't get you anything other than maybe a hug. So what did I get? I didn't get a lot of Christmas presents. Christmas was very low key this year, but that's because we had a really nice big family vacation earlier this year where we went to Alaska. So we spent money on that. Yeah. So Christmas was low key this year, but most of my fandoms got covered. I didn't get anything Marvel related, but I did get tickets to go see Weird Al though, so I will be seeing Weird Al later this year.
I got some DC fandom stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
an old fandom. Highlander had done a anniversary convention in California last year, and they put out a DVD of some of the panels. So
Nice.
I wound up getting that under the Christmas tree, and that was fun.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Besides Doctor Who, I also got like a couple of Harry Potter things.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandparents got me this guy that they know that makes handmade wands for charity, and they bought me one.
Nice. Very cool.
And non-fandom, I got an art kit.
Nice.
with a collection.
You can make art
easel.
of a fandom.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And they
Create
came with
your
a
own
nice
fandom.
big, it's got a nice big canvas. I'm like, let's see, practice sketching Mario and Coco, or do I want to try my hand at exploding TARDIS and try painting that? Ooh, with the possibilities.
I was gonna say, dude, both have like the TARDIS and Mario.
Put Mario and Coco in the TARDIS instead of River Song.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And at least this way, I could put Coco in a fez and not have her get angry at me.
Yeah.
And Mario would look cute with the bow tie. Hey, perfect. Good. Ideas. Not sure when it's going to get done, but I've got ideas.
So, all right. So we need to do the news, and there's actually not a whole lot of news, all things considering. It's been fairly quiet. Everybody has been on Christmas vacation, so can't really blame them. But we're going to start with some 10 o'clock news, unfortunately. Yeah. So, speaking of Doctor Who, Doctor Who and Star Trek alumni William Morgan Shepherd has passed away at the age of 86, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because his son Mark Shepherd, aka Crowley on Supernatural, they both played different ages of the same character on Doctor Who in The Impossible Astronaut. Yep. So they played different ages of Kenton Everett Delaware the third. That's a mouthful. So.
They did something similar in another show too, I think, but I can't remember.
Yes, it was an episode of NCIS.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
One of Ducky's nemesises.
Yep.
I remember that now.
Like, and they have both appeared on Star Trek.
Yep, that too.
So.
Holly, has he ever appeared on Supernatural?
Not senior, no, just Mark. But Mark was also, or not Mark, but William was also in The Librarians.
He was also in Babylon 5, so he's like the sci-fi, like he's got a lot of those checked off right there.
Yes,
in his time, so. And he also did some voice acting too. He was on Gargoyles. So he also voiced Santa Claus in the Disney Christmas special Prep and Landing and its sequels.
I've never seen that. I've heard it's cute, but I've never seen it.
They're cute.
Yeah.
Oh, or if I remember next Christmas, I will watch it.
Yeah. Oh, last time I was at Disney at the studios at Christmas time with part of their nighttime fireworks light show thing, and part of it was themed to Prep and Landing, so that was kind of fun. So there is that piece of 10 o'clock news. So move on to some more happy news. I think I'm still recovering from staying up Sunday night watching the Golden Globes while fighting with my antenna, because apparently it does not like NBC at all. I don't know what its problem is. Like, really, this is a major network and you want to struggle. I can understand, an off, not major network. But this is NBC. Come on.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually forgot they were on. And so, like, I fell asleep, and like I woke up and I saw like your messages. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I was fine for the first like 2/3 of it. And of course, that's when they're doing all of the awards that we don't really care about. I don't really care about. It's like, when it gets towards the end, it's doing the big awards. And that's when it was like struggling to get that signal. I'm like, "Argh!" So,
Was the song coming in?
I had to like cross my eyes and tilt my head and be like, what'd they say? Who won?
Half tempted to race into the kitchen for the aluminum foil.
Yeah, well, it's not that type of antenna, unfortunately.
Oh, darn.
There's no bunny
Sorry.
ears to wrap aluminum foil. I used to do that, though.
Yes,
That shows my
listeners,
age.
I am dating myself.
Me too.
I don't know if I've ever done that with a TV, but I've done that with a radio.
Yeah, same idea.
Same principle.
Same idea. Yeah.
Yep.
Kids, before Pandora, there's this thing called the radio.
And to boost the signal or to make it come in clear, you had to do that.
Yes.
Or stand there with one hand, stretched legs out, and then pointing like you're trying to reach something from the opposite side of the room.
And then the DJ talks over the last few seconds of that song you're trying to record on tape.
That too. Yes.
Oh, goodness, we are old.
Because it wasn't
Anyway.
time for your allowance, so you could buy the CD single or the cassette single. Yes, those were a thing.
Oh,
okay,
my.
off that soapbox.
Yeah, anyway. So, award season. The big award season has started. The Golden Globes were Sunday evening. And if this is a sign that the way the rest of the year is going to go, I'm not really going to complain because stuff we like actually won.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Yeah. So not really a whole lot in the TV part of it. But that's okay because I don't really watch TV anyway. Although it is I don't say heartwarming, but it is fun to see that a lot of the winners in the television category were from streaming services.
Yes.
Or non-major network TV series. Because like The Americans won Best Television Series Drama. They're on FX.
Right. And then Sandra Oh for Killing Eve. Killing Eve's BBC America.
It's BBC. The Kaminsky Method, which is on Netflix. Marvelous Miss Maisel, which is on Amazon Prime, I think. Amazon streaming. So, so that's pretty cool that the streaming services and non major networks are winning the awards. So watch out next year, though. Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's only a few more months.
In the movie category, it was kind of all over the place. It wasn't like a single movie that kind of swept everything.
No, because
it sometimes does.
Thinking A Star Is Born was going to do that.
Yeah, I was really surprised that. I mean, I haven't seen A Star Is Born yet. I'm gonna have to wait till it comes out on Redbox or something because now it's out of the theaters, at least around me. I waited too long.
At first, I wasn't interested into it, and then I started seeing people I know talk about it. I actually want to see this, and then like you said, it's not in the theater anymore.
So we're all gonna have to wait. But I mean, I was genuinely surprised that Lady Gaga did not win for Best Actress, and Glenn Close looked genuinely surprised that she won.
I think she was thinking Lady Gaga had it in the bag.
Yeah. So I mean, the look on her face, she was genuinely surprised.
Yeah,
she won.
Are you sure about that? Let's check the envelope.
Yeah, let's not do what they did last year.
Yeah.
Yes, with Moonlight and La La Land.
Yeah. So, but I mean, Star Is Born did win for Best Original Song for Shallow. Best Animated Motion Picture ended up going to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I just saw today, finally.
Okay.
How is it?
And
how was it? I'm on the fence.
It's weird to watch just because the animation style is something I have never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like I need to be wearing a pair of like the red and blue lens 3D glasses.
That's what I thought. Like it reminded me of like a comic book turned into like a 90s 3D movie.
Yeah, I almost want to watch it with a pair of those on just to see what it ends up looking like. It would probably screw things up because it's not that the entire movie. Like there's some spots where it's like it almost doesn't look animated. I forget for a second that I'm watching something that's animated, and then I'll go back to another shot where it's very obvious that the characters are animated. And because it's a multiverse thing and there's these spider heroes, I can't call them all Spider-Men because there's Spider-Gwen, there's Spider-Ham, that come from other universes, the multiverse, they all come together in Miles Morales' universe, and they're different. Some of them are different animation styles. Like Spider-Ham looks like a Looney Tunes cartoon, like animated. Spider Noir is black and white and is very like noir, like you would think, like a 1920s like crime thriller. There's an anime version that's she's actually a girl who's like a computer genius that she has like a symbiotic relationship with the spider, and the spider lives in a robot that she can control. But she's drawn into anime style. But when they all come into Miles Morales' universe, they're still in their animation style, but it still fits. It's really weird. Yeah, it's like it literally is like a living. I don't want to say living, but that's the best way I can describe it. It is a living comic book. Like they'll do spots where they do panels. They'll do spots where they actually put like the text, like you'd expect to see in a comic book. It is like if someone took a comic book and breathed life into it. But it is so different looking that it's kind of jarring. I almost want to see it again, so this time I can actually appreciate the story better, because I'm so busy looking at the animation.
That's not, like I want to see it since like I saw a trailer last year. Yeah. But like now that got me excited. Like. And
of course, it is a Marvel property, so there is a Stan Lee cameo. So it was done before he passed, obviously. Yeah, because this was, they record their lines and stuff, way a long time ago and then animate it. So, but yeah, there is a Stan Lee cameo, which was, I was like, oh, Stan.
Did they have a thing at the end for him?
I'm assuming this was added after he died, that they're the little tribute thing on top of the cameo. He has a cameo actually in the movie, like a proper cameo. There's a little tribute to him during the credits, or right as the movie ends, and then there's a end credit scene, which brings in another version of Spider-Man that I was not aware of. So, and kind of leaving it open, for another potential movie. So I like it. Animation wise, is really cool to watch. The story, I will be honest. I mean, the story idea, it's pretty cool, especially having these different, spider heroes. Miles Morales, bit annoying until he has his like come to Jesus moment where he, pulls on his big boy britches. He's like, okay, it's time to be the hero I'm supposed to be, but there's so much of it with him struggling once he gets bit by the radioactive spider, because they all have the same origin story. And they make fun of that too. Where it's like, I was bit by a radioactive spider, That's the story of all of them, except for the anime girl, I think. Hers was different. But all the rest of them is like, I was bit by a radioactive spider. And they almost make fun of the fact that Spider-Man has pretty much the same origin story in every universe in the multiverse. But once Miles...
How different could it be from being a Spider-Man? I don't know.
Yeah. But Miles, there were several times where I'm like, kid, get your head out of your butt. He's a teenager. He's young. But
so he's a little worse than Peter Parker.
Yeah, he's way worse than Peter Parker.
Oh goodness.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, but and they do poke fun at the a certain scene from one of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
I can just imagine. Is it the upside down in the rain kissing scene?
Well, there's that, but there's another scene from one of the other Tobey Maguire movies that is
gotcha.
Made fun of. That people are like, this was dumb. Why they put this in here? And they totally make fun of it, and I laughed so hard. Like, they're like,
ooh, I'm curious.
So yeah, I mean, Miles Morales, she's just young and immature, and it was annoying after a while. But then he has like his time to put my big boy's britches moment, and then it's like, okay, finally, you're the hero. Go do your thing. Quit being a dumb kid, which is kind of dumb to ask because he's a kid, but still. He's doing exactly what you would expect. Someone is in middle school, essentially.
He's that young?
Yes. Yeah, like he hasn't even gone through puberty yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but it's good. I could kind of see why it won. Anyway. Ramble / mini movie review.
Mine. I still haven't seen Barry Poppins Returns yet, so I'm like way behind on my movies.
Yeah, don't read the feedback we got. Then this that's at the bottom of the notes. We'll get to that. Anyway, back to the Golden Globes.
Mm-hmm.
We're all over the place. But for us, the two wins that we were very excited about was Rami Malek winning for Best Performance by an Actor in a Motion Picture Drama for Bohemian Rhapsody, and then Bohemian Rhapsody winning for Best Motion Picture Drama.
Nice.
And Rami's acceptance speech, holy cow, I was tearing up. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah. I was like, yay, something I won. And then they announced it. They did the next one. I'm like, yay, back to back. Like, Rami didn't even have a chance to go back to his seat. So... Which that was from what I gathered once I was on the internet the following day is that was a really surprising win.
Yes, mm-hmm.
Maybe not necessarily for Rami's win, but for it to win Best Picture, in it. Yeah. So
what was the expected win?
I think
most people expected it A Star Is Born. Yeah,
because there is an Instagram post I think either floating around on Queen's Instagram. Or could be Brian's, but yeah, Roger and one other person giving the bird to the critics.
Yeah,
with the Golden Globe in their hands.
Yeah. Well, and I love that that Brian May was sitting at the table next to Rami the entire award ceremony.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, we're each other's dates. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. So, but we'll see what happens when the Oscar nominations because they don't.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because they don't break down drama versus comedy. It's just best picture. So they'll have other movies to contend with, like Green Book and Vice, and I'm sure, and The Favorite, and you know, some of these others that were you know, in other categories, you know, the musical or comedy. When those get combined, who knows what'll happen. So I would have liked that Black Panther to win something, but oh well. But I do like that Spider-Man won, even before seeing it, though, just because it's a comic book movie. Even if it's in the animated category, it is a win for a superhero comic book movie. So.
And what about the surprise with Dick Van Dyke coming up to talk about Mary Poppins Returns? Oh, that was and the standing ovation he got. Oh, that was so cool.
And I love the normally I can take it or leave it when they do like the Lifetime Achievement Awards. But I love that they have created a there's now a TV Lifetime Achievement Award. And they named it after Carol Burnett, and then she was the first person to receive it.
And you've got to admit, the Cecil B. DeMille Award, I mean, the dude. The Cecil B. DeMille Award, I was like, should I put them? Like, no, I'm going to watch this. This is going to be good. And Chris Pine did a good job.
Yes, he did. So, all things considering, I was relatively pleased to you know, even with my TV struggles, to stay awake and watch an awards program, because a lot of times it's like, I don't like you, haven't seen the thing you're in, I don't know.
Because I have to admit, this is the first year that I pretty much didn't change channel during the Golden Globes.
Well, and the Golden Globes too tend to be a way more relaxed, because they're not sitting in a big old theater in rows. They're at tables. They've been eating. They've been drinking. It's like a dinner party
where they
drinking. And they happen to be handing out awards at the same time. So
because I had heard while everybody was going in from the red carpet in, they were serving dinner. So Melissa McCarthy snuck in a whole bag full of ham sandwiches and was passing them out to people.
See, the Oscars, they have to order pizza. So have it delivered. Golden Globes, you don't have that problem. They feed you and give you beverages right there. So if anyone wants to invite us to Golden Globes, we'll sit all the way in the back with, you know, people's, you know,
nosebleed
management teams, and, you know, those people in those categories that get nominated, but they have to sit all the way in the back because they're not recognizable by their face.
Or if you need a +1, we'll fill in. Or your +1 cancels.
Rami Malek needs a date next year, and Brian May's not available. All right. Speaking of Netflix, things on streaming services, we have 2 release dates for programming on Netflix. The Punisher season 2 is actually going to drop in like 10 days, as we're recording this on January 18th. So, and then I'm sure it'll be canceled at some point after that.
Not according to The Punisher. The Punisher is going to cancel Netflix way before that happens.
If only it worked that way. And then we got a trailer and a release date for Stranger Things season 3. And I love the trailer.
Yes, that was awesome.
But Stranger Things season 3 drops July 4th. And it is going to be set in the summertime this time.
We're going to the mall from the looks of things.
It's going to be summertime in Hawkins, Indiana.
Now, 4th of July.
After after Halloween, time to change seasons. So, which is good.
I can't help but laugh. Like, of course, it comes out when I'm most likely going to be in the middle of my vacation.
Of course.
Oh, at least it's Netflix, so it'll be waiting for me when I get home.
Exactly. Exactly. Uh-oh. All right. Well, that's it for the news. Real quick, I did want to give my recap of PopCon Fort Wayne. So that was right before New Year's at obviously in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And it was an interesting weekend. It had the feel of PopCon, seeing familiar faces, as far as staff, Carl and some of the rest of the crew, seeing the PopCon signage that I'm used to seeing, that sort of thing. It was a bit weird only having the 2 days because I'm used to PopCon being 3. But considering the size of it, that was more than enough. It did not need to be 3 days. They would have lost even more money, unfortunately, if they'd done 3 days. The venue is nice. I like the Fort Wayne Convention Center. It's got a good layout. I loved being in the hotel attached to the convention center.
Oh, I'm sure.
That was so nice to not have to lug around a ton of crap. I could just take what I needed, and then if I found myself with a break, where there weren't any panels or anything else that I needed or wanted to go to, I could go up to my room. I could charge my phone. I could kick off my shoes for a little bit. I could eat something, maybe have a drink, and then go right back when I was ready. Although it was really, because I only had the 2 days, there were some habits that were kind of hard to break that I'm just so used to. I'm so used to, even though I'm very fortunate that I can get to downtown Indianapolis in, like 20 minutes, if traffic is decent, that I can park at my work for free and walk to the convention center. So I don't have to worry about parking, but I am so used to having to give myself time to get downtown, park, and walk to the convention center that I would get up at the hotel and, do my morning routine, brush my teeth, put on my makeup and all the things that you have to do to get ready for the day, and look at the clock and be like, oh my gosh, it's 8 a.m. already. And I'm like, wait, I don't have to be anywhere for like 45 minutes. It's going to take me 3 minutes to get where I need to be. I was still finding myself way early for things. Just because in my head, it's like, oh, it's going to take me forever to get where I need to go. And I'm like, no, it's not unless you have to wait for the elevator. And even then, it will not take that much time. So it was weird, but at the same time, I loved that I was so close. Everything was literally right there. I just had to go in the elevator, down a couple floors, down the hallway, and right there is the convention center. So, the hotel was nice, especially considering the convention rate that they were offering for that night. It was a Hilton, so that nice of a hotel room. The bed wasn't that comfy, but it wasn't terrible, but I've had better. The pillows were very nice. But the nice big flat screen TV. It was nice. I was able. I don't have cable like anywhere. I had cable at the hotel, so I would find myself killing time before I had to go somewhere, flipping between HBO was showing Game of Thrones, like all of Game of Thrones, and then the Doctor Who marathon going on BBC America. So.
Famish problems.
Yes.
Okay, which episode do I want to watch?
Yeah, it's like, do I want to watch this David Tennant episode, or do I want to watch the Red Wedding?
Yeah. Do I want to watch this one, or do I want to watch Joffrey bite the big one?
Yeah, I always want to watch Joffrey bite the big one. But anyway, sorry, Doctor Who, but anyway, so that was nice. The location compared to the rest of downtown Fort Wayne was nice. I left once to go get lunch, and I was able to walk like a couple blocks, and I went to this Scottish pub, which was really nice. Got myself some chips and it was chicken pot pie, not shepherd's pie. I had chicken pot pie. So that was really good. And then the convention itself, I mean, as far as PopCon was concerned, I had fun seeing familiar faces. There were several vendors there, people that I have seen at other conventions. I hung out with Brandon from Cult Cinema Cavalcade quite a bit. It was just him. It was not him and Colin, but Brandon's from that area. His parents still live there, so he was just able to go and stay at his parents for the weekend. Brandon was kind of unofficially taking care of the live podcasting stage, which he ended up utilizing a good chunk of the weekend. He kind of just made it his mission because not a lot of people signed up ahead of time to do anything on the podcast stage. So he kind of took it upon himself. He just kind of went to the vendor hall and like grabbed like artists and other people and be like, hey, want to come out to the podcast stage and talk about, the art you're selling or your book or, whatever it is. So he did that. He and I did the podcast stage a couple of times. There wasn't any, unlike PopCon Indie, where they have it all set up with a nice mixing board and a whole bunch of microphones and nice, speakers and everything, and recording equipment. We did not have recording equipment for this. The audio that I actually put up before the end of the year, if people have checked, it's in the feeds, was me taking the recorder I use at events and strategically placing it in front of the speaker.
Hey, it still sounded good.
Yeah. I had no idea what it was going to sound like, but I'm like, I'm just going to put this here and see what happens. And then when I listen back to it later, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound too bad. Yay me. Because otherwise there's like hardly any audio from any. I think the guys, the folks from the Established Facts, because I know they brought their own and hooked it up before they did their spot. But other than their bit and the bit that I recorded, there's like no audio from anything else. Which Brandon didn't mind too much because he was kind of unofficially hosting it. And he's like, none of this content would really fit with Cult Cinema Cavalcade anyway. So he wasn't too upset about the fact that there wasn't recordings. And it was nice that we were able to get the recording of our second time on there, because that ended up being the panel that I was supposed to do. If you saw, I had posted it on our social medias that I was doing a 13th Doctor, premiere season kind of panel talking about Jodie Whittaker's first season on Doctor Who. And Brandon agreed to, be on the panel with me, so that I was not by himself. So we met up Sunday morning in the panel room and nobody showed up.
Oh no.
Absolutely no. Well, I can't say absolutely nobody. Carl did come in and chat with us for like 2 minutes. And then he had to go do, con chair things. But other than that, nobody showed up at all for our panel. So we ended up calling it quits early. I was like, I have to go get my stuff and put it in the car. I got to check out of the hotel anyway. He's like, I'll be back later. He's like, that's cool. He's like, I'm going to go find people to be on the stage. I'm like, okay. So when he had an opening later that day, he's like, let's do our panel again, because then people will have to listen to us because they'll be walking by and there'll be a speaker. I'm like, okay. So that helped make up for the fact that nobody showed up. Apparently in Fort Wayne, like nothing happens before like 1:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday because it's church and then after church lunch. So, and then the people that were probably still in bed asleep because they had stayed up too late partying the night before because the bar in the hotel was open late. And there was some late night programming. So there's that. Crowd wise, I don't know what the head count was. It's not anything relatively close to Indie PopCon, I will tell you that. There was the celebrities. It so reminded me of year 2 of Indie PopCon, the year that they had Jacksepticeye and some of the other YouTubers and Markiplier. And on the other like celebrity guests over there had like nobody in line for them. It was kind of the same thing, except there were no YouTubers this time around to kind of, keep the crowds away. There was no crowd, which I felt bad, honestly, for even, about the only celebrity I think that I saw that had a halfway decent line a couple of times was one of the voice actors, and she does like a lot of anime, so I have no idea what her name is. I'm sorry. Anime is not, that's a rabbit hole I refuse to go down. But the other celebrities that were there, a lot of times, I'd be walking around and I'd look over and they were just kind of sitting there, on their phones, kind of staring or talking with, their handler or whatever. But it was kind of disheartening to see that. That being said, advantage to celebrities not really having lines is you get to snag them and sit down and talk to them, like I did with Barry Bostwick.
Yes.
It took a little negotiating on both our behalves, but we made it work. It was funny because it was Saturday evening. Brandon and I walked in there, and it just so happened that Carl was standing there at Barry Bostwick's table talking to him, and the PopCon volunteer that was helping him man his table. And Brandon said, I was like, hey, look, there's Carl. And Brandon's like, he's like, I'm going to go complain because I'm not having fun, being very sarcastic. And I was like, okay. So I walked up to Carl and said, hey, Carl, Brandon's not having any fun. He's like, well, if you want to have fun, talk to this guy, meaning Barry Bostwick. We're like, okay. So then we introduced ourselves to Barry Bostwick, and I don't know how long we stood there and chatted with him, but Brandon was mostly telling him about Cult Cinema Cavalcade and the types of movies that they review, and was giving recommendations because Barry's handler that was actually there with him, not the volunteer, is also a fan of like really crappy movies. So like Brandon was like, well, this one? Yes. And Brandon's like, he's like, no, but have you seen this? And they were like writing down movie titles. So, and then Barry Bostwick was like, well, have you seen this one? He's like, I have this one that I filmed several years ago, but it just now got released on DVD. Apparently it's this, I don't want to say a slasher film, but it's called Sleigh Bells, SLAYBELLES. And he plays Santa Claus, and he teams up with these, like, kind of slasher movie type chicks that you are used to seeing, and they have to team up to defeat Krampus, apparently.
Interesting.
So now Brandon is somewhat verbally in a verbal contract with Barry Bostwick that that's the movie they'll have to review for Christmas next year.
Nice.
So, we were standing there chatting and about this, that, and the other thing, and he's like, I'm getting hungry and tired, and so he was ready to go and clock it in for the night. And he was his table, he had his table he's sitting behind, and then he had another table with, like, stuff. He was usually at that table, and then another table with stuff that you could have autographed. Obviously he had, like, headshots and stills from movies and TV shows and stuff that he's done. He had copies of Rocky Horror on DVD and Blu-ray, I think, that you could buy, and he'd autograph. He had copies of the soundtrack. If you bought one of those, he'd autograph. He had this clock made out of a vinyl copy of the Rocky Horror soundtrack, I think is what it was.
Oh, cool.
Nice. That, you could buy, and he would autograph it. But the most unique thing that he was offering for people to buy and for him to autograph was underwear. Tidy whities. If you've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, you know why. If you're not, you're going to be very confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a picture you had of him signing, and I just started laughing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I get it.
So he's like, buy my underwear. He's like, I got 2 kids in college. Fair enough. But he was trying to convince either of us, or if not both of us, to buy his underwear. He's like, it's a great deal. He'd knock down the price like a penny. He's like, I'll make you a deal. And he knocked down the price like a penny, and then he'd do like 50 cents. And then finally he marked it down. He knocked it down like $10. And I'm like, that price in an interview? He's like, okay. He's like, an interview with you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, we have a deal. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm like, sweet. So once the Doctor Who panel that wasn't concluded, and I checked out of the hotel and moved my stuff out of my hotel room, put it in the car. I went back and proceeded to sit down with Barry Bostwick for like 20 minutes.
And a glorious 20 minutes that it was.
It is. It's a great conversation. He's a nice guy. He's very funny. He's got a very sarcastic sense of humor, which I know is not everybody's cup of tea. If you don't understand or get sarcasm, it can come off very mean or rude. It's not. It's funny. He's poking fun at everybody, including me. But I do not mind at all. I mean, we talked Rocky Horror, we talked Spin City. I mean, we talked Doctor Who. Talking about he was catching some of the marathon in his hotel room.
You guys talked West Wing a little bit.
Yeah, we talked West Wing. There's some crossover there with those two shows. Yep. Which I would not have known that if I'd not been listening to the West Wing Weekly. So thank you guys. Not that they're going to hear this, but anyway. It was a fun conversation. It was a totally fun conversation, and I'm totally totally worth nobody showing up for the panel and totally worth the money I spent for the underwear.
All right, so PopCon Fort Wayne, first ever PopCon Fort Wayne, hopefully not the last. So, and I am sitting here with, how many platitudes can I come up with for you? Singer, actor, star of the stage and screen, big and small, famous for dancing in his underwear 40-something years ago.
How do you know I don't do it now?
Well, that's true. That is very true. Yeah. So, but no, I am here with the incomparable Barry Bostwick.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You were one of 5,
yes,
right? And so, are you? If you had to be numerically in some place, which one are you?
I'm number 1 because I do all the back end work.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I used to do back end work in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah. That's. We've hit the bottom already, haven't we?
Yes, we have. There's nowhere to go but up. That's the good thing about it. So, are you having a good weekend?
You know what? We're meeting some interesting people.
Yeah.
It's not a
Welcome
very.
to Indiana.
It's not. Thank you. It's not a very active, convention.
No.
It's a strange time of the year. Between Christmas and New Year's, and either they're. They spend all their money, on Christmas.
Yeah.
Or they're anticipating spending it on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Or they're all just depressed from having been with family for 5 days. And
this was a nice break for me because I spend from Christmas to New Year's with my in-laws, which they're great people, but after a while you're sick socializing with people, and
well, you run out of things not only to talk about but to do.
Yeah, well, and they don't want to hear me talk about Doctor Who for entire week, so I come here and people do want to talk about Doctor Who for hours on end. So, are you a Doctor Who fan? You ever watched it?
I actually watched 2 episodes last night in the hotel.
Good.
Yeah.
You caught the marathon they're having on BBC
Is that
America?
what they're doing? Yeah. And I was never a fan of it. I mean, I never watched it.
Yeah.
And Patricia Quinn did a couple of episodes, right? She was the Magenta in Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she talks about it. It was not in my world because it was British, and and I don't watch a lot of television, so
you didn't get really a chance to get exposed to it when you were in England filming Rocky Horror.
No, I was there doing something when it had its. What was the last big anniversary?
Well, the 50th. That was 5 years ago.
It was the 50th. I was there for the 50th, and I didn't understand what it was all about. 50 years?
Yeah.
This thing's been on the air?
Yep. With some breaks every now and then, but yeah.
Oh, my God. Well,
50
Supernatural
years.
Probably will catch up to it someday.
Yeah. Well, it's been almost 45 years since you did Rocky Horror, so...
That's true. Yeah, but we haven't been working every day.
That's true, but it's still showing in theaters.
Oh yeah, it's the longest continuously running movie ever.
Yeah,
I mean, it is somewhere in the world every week.
Yeah,
every night.
Yeah,
and it that we can say about it. We can say about it, and we can say that it is. It's in the Library of Congress as it's an extraordinary piece of film, I think, and it really was ahead of its time, and I think has brought an awful lot of joy to a lot of fans and people who do the shadowcasts all over the world. I think it's changed a lot of lives, and there was a documentary that hasn't quite been finished yet called Rocky Horror Saved My Life, and they go around, they interview people in these casts. And the stories are quite moving about how the community that they found, the friends that they found, and their own inner self they found because of what they witnessed, either in the theater or on the screen. And I think it's usually actors don't have the opportunity to do something that is socially effective or affecting, and so I'm really quite proud of it.
As you should be. You should be. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Oh.
I love musicals, though, and the music is just, it's so catching. I've had Damn It, Janet stuck in my head since yesterday morning.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the first scene we shot. It was freezing out.
Really?
Yeah.
It always seems to be the case. Like, you're supposed to be, supposed to be springtime. It's usually freezing, and
at least I wasn't wet in that scene. I was wet in so many of the scenes in the movie, and in my underwear.
Yeah.
And it was a very uncomfortable movie to make, I must say.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't know it by watching it.
No. Well, because we were moving so fast. I mean, we shot it in 6 weeks or something like that, and for a relatively low-budget film, they couldn't waste any time. They almost pulled the plug on it about a week before we started. The studio totally lost confidence in it, didn't know what to do with it, and the executives came down and sort of looked at what we were doing and went, well, what the hell is this? What are we going to do with this?
Yeah.
But they pushed forward, and thank God they did.
Yeah. So, slight change of pace.
Okay.
Spin City.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that's had some social impact, I know there was a gal in your panel yesterday that talked about, from watching Spin City, it got her into doing public service.
Oh, was that what she was saying?
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
Her name was Nikki, and she was way in the back.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But, if you look at the TV at the time when Spin City was on, Spin City was on first, but that same era, you also had shows like The West Wing that came on, which you've got some crossover there because Tommy Schlamme, who directed the pilot for Spin City, went on to work on The West Wing.
Yeah.
But
two different kinds of shows.
Yes, I mean, definitely different tone, but still that same idea of working in government and politics and public service and all that. And considering the I don't want to get political really, but considering the climate now, why do you think shows like Spin City and The West Wing still, people keep watching them even after all this time?
I think, from Spin City standpoint, it was a great cast. It was funny, and it was consistent, and we had Mike Fox, who is adored, and Charlie Sheen, who I think at that time was really great, and he's always been good, Charlie, I think, but he was learning his craft and was a great team player. So and The West Wing, I think people were curious and hungry to know what was really going on behind the doors, and they were wise enough to really give you a hint of that, but it comes down to scripts and casting, and I think both of the scripts and the casting for both those series were excellent. If it had been done by lesser talents, I don't think it would have been quite so popular.
Yeah, and they still are.
Yeah,
so that's the thing, is that people still watch those shows, even though it's been years since they've been on the air, because they stand the test of time because of the good writing and the casting, I think.
Well, and you had Martin Sheen, and then you had the other Sheen.
Yes.
It's all about Sheens.
Yeah,
apparently,
Well, didn't Martin make a few appearances on Spin City?
Martin played. He played the dad.
Yeah.
He played his father on it.
Yeah. There's that crossover again. And Connie Britton made a couple appearances on The West Wing as well.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
At the same time as she was
I don't think it was at the same time, but it was a few. I think it was a few. I think it was after she had already left Spin City. So.
Yeah. Connie's very talented.
Yeah. So, an interesting thing that I came across on the internet when Googling you.
All right.
Tell me about Inside the Extras Studio.
Oh, we were just watching an episode of that. It's a web series that I do, and we're starting our third season next week, actually. We do about 10 or 12 episodes a year.
Yeah.
And I play it's like inside the actor studio, but I'm supposedly running a school for extras.
Yeah.
And I have 2 students.
Yeah.
You know, a guy who I'm constantly putting down, and you know, and a pretty girl.
Yeah.
And then we have so-called extras who work in the field, and I interview them. And
yeah.
Have you seen it? Did you hear it?
I've seen a couple episodes of it. I watched a couple of it. It's very interesting.
Oh, it's very
especially
the
people that you've had on. I mean, you have some
Doug,
recognizable people like Doug Jones, and then you have like YouTubers like Tazon Day.
Yeah.
You've had on. So
yeah. Oh, and they're very cleverly written.
Yeah.
By a guy named Adam Hall and Cale McCann, so we're going to do next week. We're going to do another 12, and we're also going to do another web series that these guys are writing. I try to do 1 or 2 things for them a year, just because I like them. They're Adam Hall is a graduate of USC film school, and he's one of these guys that I think has a career and is clever, and I like working with clever people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So watch it. It's mildlyfearsomefilms.com, and you subscribe to it, and you'll get all of their content. And I've done a lot of things for them. I've done a thing called Research, which was a series, and 3 or 4 other ones.
Very good. So what else are you working on?
Just finished Undercover Brother 2.
Okay.
For Universal. We finished that about a week and a half ago, and in Atlanta. And I play the worst racist human being you could ever be, and it's very funny. I mean, it's a send-up.
Yeah.
It seems to be my genre. I love these sort of tongue-in-cheek send-up kind of projects, and I think it's because I'm entertained by them. So if I'm entertained by them, I'll do a pretty good job in them, because I'll see the sense of humor in it, and if I don't take myself too seriously as the characters, because I don't take myself too seriously as a human being.
Right.
And so I'm sort of I fit well in that genre.
Yeah.
I'm willing to send up the image of the sort of leading man, person that I have been and still sort of am. Yeah. What else? That's it.
That's all you're working on?
What else am I doing? I think that's.
Well, you mentioned yesterday it was a web series or something you're doing with the Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that's the one. We're doing that in 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
Yeah. We're doing a Sherlock Holmes one, a vlog, a video.
Yeah.
Vlog, and I play an older Sherlock Holmes, where I'm Watson's granddaughter comes and lives. She's in medical school in London, and she comes and lives with this old coked out, Sherlock Holmes, which is me, and they get in. She's just going to have a vlog about her trip to London, and it ends up she becomes part of this crime, but it all plays out as if it is a vlog. We do it all in front of her camera.
Yeah,
and,
very handheld.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm not quite sure how he's going to shoot it, but I'm just hoping all the dialogue is on cards in front of me.
Yeah.
And teleprompters and stuff, because he's got he's got all these long speeches,
like Sherlock.
Sherlock has got whole pages of and if you did this, and then and then they went into the house, and then
because he's constantly figuring things out and vocalizing it.
Yeah. But my task is not only to come up with a good English accent, but to figure out what a coked up personality would be like.
Right.
Apparently he shoots up with cocaine, but he says it's only a 7%. solution. I've never done.
Is that makes a difference?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I would think Coke is Coke, but
I have a feeling he's just going to talk very fast and
probably.
Thank God the words are on teleprompter, so I don't have to. My brain doesn't have to work that fast.
Yeah.
But so my job now is to come up with a believable English accent and to figure out what I want him to look like and whether or not he smokes a pipe.
Yeah.
But he probably should smoke a pipe, shouldn't he? Doesn't Sherlock Holmes have a pipe?
Most of the time, yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, maybe he'll vape.
Could do that too.
He'll maybe. That's a good idea.
Yeah, he could do that too.
Well, no, because he's really sort of locked in the past.
Yeah. You should see if the vape companies, if they make one that looks like a pipe.
Oh, that would be fun.
You can have that one.
Okay, thank you. I knew this. I knew we were going to be great friends.
So, one final question.
Okay. You know the only reason I'm doing this for you?
Because I bought your underwear.
You bought my underwear.
I did.
But I gave you a deal on the underwear.
You did. I'm very grateful for it.
I took $10 off.
I'm gonna frame them, and I'm gonna put them on my wall right next to something.
What do you have on your wall?
Do you want? I could put it next to my picture of me with Stan Lee.
That's good. But do you have his underwear?
No, I do not have his underwear. I just have a picture with him,
unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, you can put my underwear, but right by Stanley. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your last question?
Okay, so my last question is, I put it out to our listeners if they had any questions for you, and one of our listeners wants to know, was Megaforce as fun to film as it is to watch?
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, it was actually. It was, every boy likes to do those kinds of films because of all the hardware.
Yeah.
The motorcycles and the dune buggies and the firing and shooting of rockets and flying motorcycles and all that.
Yeah.
So it was fun from that standpoint. And we didn't know what the actual dialogue was going to be in the movie because it was really sort of conceived as a film that just had a lot of stunts in it and this and that. And so I remember we were basically writing the dialogue on the way to the set every morning in the station wagon.
Yeah.
And that's why it has this. There's a certain spontaneity to the dialogue on it that. I don't even know who wrote it. I think we might have written it in the bar the night before.
Cocktail napkin.
Yeah. There's a line in it: "The good guys always win, even in the '80s." And I think
it is definitely '80s. There's a lot of spandex.
I think I came up with that. Oh, that spandex, man.
In the sweatband.
Oh, the sweatband. But the spandex, gee, and it was freezing. We were out in the desert in Las Vegas, and so I was in this spandex thing. We were all in spandex. Those are the days.
Oh, yeah. I'm a bit young for that, but yes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was, and with this, and the motorcycles. That's why we did it. I once did a miniseries called War and Remembrance, and it was like a 32-hour miniseries. And I played a submarine captain. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons I really wanted to do it is that I got to be in a real submarine, in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And big boys with big toys. And that's why we're actors.
Yeah.
Really. That and kissing pretty girls.
Yeah. Exactly. You're not in it for the money, obviously.
Well, no.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be selling your underwear.
That's right. Well, I'm selling my underwear because I got 2 kids in college, and I'm trying to get them in and out of college without any real debt.
Yeah.
So I could go in and pay for it. Also, it's funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, so and people say, "Is that true?" And I go, "Yeah, it's true. I got a kid in UCLA and a kid in a college in Colorado, and." Well, as everybody knows, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to end up, because they're both in the sciences.
Yeah.
I don't want them to
Science
end up...
is not cheap.
No, it's not. And, if I sell 10 pairs of underwear, that's, a couple of physics books.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And maybe my children will like me.
Yeah.
I just want people to like me.
You're very likable.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're very likable.
Thank you. Now I have to sign underwear for
Yes,
you
do. Yes, you do. Well, I greatly appreciate it.
No.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I think because of the length of this interview, I think I'll charge you $10 more for the underwear.
Okay.
No, I won't. You've been fun. You've been fun.
Thank you.
And you're one of the 5, and you're the number 1 5.
Yes.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
I will see you.
Thank you.
Let me sign.
I was not intending to buy anything from anybody, but I'm a huge Rocky Horror fan, and the fact that it's such a unique autograph. If all he had were like pictures and stuff, I definitely probably would not have bothered. But this was just kind of it's just so unique and something to add to my collection of celebrity autographs. And it is now it was just the underwear. If I'll post the picture on. Put it in the show notes. Actually, I'll probably put it in the collage of the show image. It'll probably be part of the picture collage of him signing, and then I can also include the picture of what I did to them to display them, because it was just the underwear. He had them in just like a plain frame, like wooden box on his table. So when I brought them home, I'm like, how am I going to display these? So I went to Michael's and got a shadow box, which is actually intended for a t-shirt. But it was the best thing I could find that they would fit, because it's men's tidy whities. I got some fancy kind of red Rocky Horror-esque scrapbook paper and put that behind it. And then I had to get some foam, like a foam board. I cut out a piece to fill it in so that it would fit more snugly once it went in the frame. And then I got some scrapbooking accoutrements that are movie related, and mounted it all up there. And now it's hanging on my wall next to my picture of Chauncey and I with Stanley. Mm-hmm. Just like I told Barry Bostwick, that's where I would put it. Mm-hmm. If he was on social media, I would make sure to post it and tag him so that he would know, but he's not. So
Barry, remember that little conversation we had?
Yeah.
I made good on my word.
If I ever see him again, I will make sure to show him and be like, look, I was good on my word. Chauncey was like, you really want to put that there? People are going to come in and see that underwear on our wall. It's like, yeah, but it's autographed. Yeah. It's not like it's just a random pair. I mean, it is kind of a random pair of underwear, but it's not just any random pair of underwear. Mm-hmm. It's signed.
Did Chauncey kind of paraphrase what was signed? What was personalized?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It says, damn it, Rachel, I love you, instead of damn it, Janet. So, and I had damn it, Janet pretty much stuck in my head the entire weekend. Mm-hmm. Oh my. But yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. And I had fun chatting with Don and some of the other established Facts crew. Breakfast Anytime, which Don is part of, which is the PopCon improv group. They were there they did a show Saturday evening, which unfortunately Peter Spellows was not able to join us at PopCon Fort Wayne. If he had, that would have made things really interesting. He could not come. He was there in spirit, though. But I really enjoyed seeing them perform again, and I definitely got way more involved when they would ask for audience suggestions than the last show that I attended. So the cosplay contest was fun. There were several cosplayers that I know that had entered. There were some cosplays I had never seen before. There was the gal that won. Did she win the top prize? I think. The Tauntaun. If anybody's seen the pictures I posted on our Facebook page, I believe she was the same Tauntaun that was at Gen Con either this past year or the year before. I think it's the same gal. I think. I can't imagine there's that many people that made like a full-size Tauntaun from Star Wars. I would think. You never know. That was I always enjoy seeing the cosplay competition. There was supposed to be a kids cosplay contest, but they must have not gotten any entries because it never happened. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there. That's my best assumption. That I guess no kids actually entered, so they just canceled it because, as far as I can tell, it never happened. Although I did get to see Danny. Danny and her mom did come Sunday, so I did see Danny on Sunday. So she was very happy to see me. I was very happy to see her. So yes. Every time I see her, I swear she's grown like 6 feet. Kids, I tell you, grow like weeds. Yes, stop feeding them. Stop feeding them; they'll stop growing. That's my answer. Yeah, it's like a house plant. If you don't feed it, you don't water, it doesn't grow. Same thing with kids. Parents, that's my word of advice to you. As someone who is not a parent, but all those parents out there, they're like, where did my baby go? When did they grow up? Stop feeding them. Stop watering them. They'll stop growing. I guarantee it. You may get called for child neglect, but they'll stop growing.
I was going to say, I honestly wouldn't recommend what Rachel's saying, but
that's just my advice as someone who is not a parent, okay?
or if there was some type of nutrient form that would not make them grow, but still give them nutrients.
Yeah. But then you'd be stuck with a baby and you'd have to change diapers for all eternity. So,
okay, have them grow into the perfect age, and then
freeze button. Pause.
Maybe the answer is in the Felix's and his wife's guide to how to be the perfect parent, and Ralph breaks the internet. So we never got to hear. I finally got to see Ralph breaks the internet too.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask what you thought. What did you think of it?
I liked it. I think I actually liked it more than I liked the first Wreck-It Ralph. So, but I think that's because a lot of the video game references are lost on me in the first movie because I'm not a gamer. Like, I recognized Pac-Man and Q*bert. So, but a lot of the video game references are just like, I'm not a gamer. So, but I am a person who has grown up with the internet. So I think I enjoyed the idea of the internet more than.
Did you stay to the very end?
Oh yes, I laughed so hard. The mid-credit scene I love because it's very meta.
Yeah, that's what
referencing essentially itself. And I love that we get essentially another Disney princess cameo. If you think about it,
yeah.
Like, they don't call her by the name that we know her, but 2 and 2 equals 4. So essentially, we get another Disney princess, but just in a different version that we have seen her in her movie. It's just, but still, and I love that it's very self-referential in that scene. But then the post-credit scene is that's just internet gold.
Yes.
Absolute internet gold. So, but yeah, PopCon Fort Wayne, good time. I really do not have any complaints as far as the way the convention was handled or anything. So I I would go again. If they decide to do it again, I would totally do it again. So there's that. So, and hopefully everyone enjoys my interview with Barry Bostwick. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you've already got to hear it. Because Chauncey's already listened to because he's a supporter on Patreon. So. So more fun things like that can be yours ahead of time if you support us on Patreon. Shameless plug. Anyway, moving on to feedback. So we've got feedback from Shalane, and I loved her subject line because she sent her feedback via email, and her subject line was, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
Mm-hmm. So. We see what you did there, Shalane, and we love it.
Yes, we
do. She said, "Love your guys' last episode about Mary Poppins." She said, "I thought you guys were going to talk about Saving Mr. Banks, that movie that's about making Mary Poppins." We touched on it a little bit. I think we did mention it, Saving Mr. Banks. We didn't go into it too in depth. It's good. I mean, it's really good. Again, with a lot of movies like this, they take some artistic license with how things actually happened and timelines and that sort of thing. But real life can move very slowly. So sometimes you gotta play a little when you go to put things in movies. Otherwise it'll drag on and on and on. She said she saw Mary Poppins Returns over the holiday and it turned out better than she thought it was going to, which I've heard that a lot from people. Going into it, they're like, "I really hope this is going to be good," and then they'll come out of it and I'll see their Facebook post and be like, "That was way better than I thought it was going to be." I'm like, "It was as good as I thought it was going to be, if not better, actually."
Yeah, I was going to say, I had pretty high.
I mean, I did too. I mean, I had high expectations because I love Mary Poppins, and this did not disappoint. And Chauncey ended up seeing it with his mom while I was at PopCon, and his mom really enjoyed it, even though she's not actually seen Mary Poppins in decades.
I thought you were about to say she hasn't seen it. I'm like, what?
No, she's seen it, but it's been a very, very long time since she's seen it. She got hung up on the fact that the gal that plays grown-up Jane apparently looks a lot like a friend of hers.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she got really hung up on that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, there's someone that looks kind of like a friend of yours. Watch the movie. I'm glad I was not there. And Chauncey really enjoyed it, and he really loved the music. And he cried a little too. It made me cry, and he cried a little too. So, and they pretty much the same for the same reason. So, I am not going to read this part of Shalane's feedback because it's spoilery, somewhat spoilery, and since Brittany's not seen it yet, I'm going to try to keep you from being spoiled, Brittany. So I will skip that bit right there. Sorry, Shalane. We're just because Brittany's not seen it yet, we're going to try to avoid spoilers. She said she made a comparison of Mary Poppins to Kill a Mockingbird because Mary Poppins came out in the 60s and then all these years later got a sequel, and then the book To Kill a Mockingbird came out and then years later got a sequel in book form, obviously. So yeah, sometimes sequels can take a very long time. But sometimes it is worth the wait. Look at The Incredibles 2. So I really enjoyed The Incredibles 2, and it was worth the wait. So I will say that this was worth the wait, and I love the music from Mary Poppins Returns.
So like some of the Facebook groups I follow.
Yeah.
They would have listen to the music. I'm like, no, I am trying my hardest to stay spoiler free.
And the thing is like the songs necessarily, like the songs aren't necessarily spoiler. I've listened to the soundtrack on YouTube, and it's weird though because they're talking bits in the tracks for the songs. like some of the songs are just, they're sung, it's a whole song, somebody sings, or it's a song and dance number. But then there's some of the songs that are part of the actual plot, and there's people, like, they'll be singing for a bit, and then characters will encounter one another, and they'll say a few things, and that's included in the track as well on the soundtrack, so that could be spoilery.
Well, it's not necessarily like I was worried about being spoiled about the plot. It's just I wanted to hear the music for the first time.
That too.
In the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I'm glad that, like, there's hardly any of the music in the trailers. Mm-hmm. So, like, you get, like, just a little bit of one of the peppier tunes, and then you get part of one of the slower tunes, and that's it. I'm glad that they really kept a lot, pretty much all of the music out of the trailers, so that it, you could listen to it for the first time in the movie, and it's just glorious. And I love the fact that if you're familiar with the music from the original Mary Poppins, that they have mixed a lot of the original music in with the new music. So, like, you'll be hearing, a brand new song, but then you'll hear bits of, something else from the original Mary Poppins, and if you're paying attention enough, you'll hear it, and I'm like, yay! It's like, I know that song. It's so good. So, and it made me cry. I don't know if it'll make you cry, but it made me cry.
It'll probably make me cry.
It'll probably make.
I'm a sap.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good. So definitely worth the wait. So hopefully it will not be another almost 50 years ish, decades before we get another one. So I would totally take more with, even if the Bankses, we don't see them again. If we just want more of Mary Poppins adventures, I would take more of Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins. And if we could keep Lin-Manuel Miranda, somehow make that make sense as well, totally do that too. So I'm totally down with that. So thank you, Shalane, for your feedback. Sorry that we skipped some of it. We're just trying to avoid spoilers. So,
I mean, I'm most likely, I'm seeing it this week. I'm going to force myself to see it this week.
Yeah. Do it. Oh, all right. Well, now that's been very rambly news and convention recap. Let's move on to this week's topic, which is our. Is this a first for Doctor Who? The first ever Doctor Who New Year's Day special? I guess.
When was? Because wasn't one of the David Tennant specials, wasn't that on New Year's Day? One of them. The first one.
I thought there was Easter.
I think they were all Christmas. Yeah, it was all Christmas or Easter.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't watch them live, so.
Yeah, me neither.
I didn't get.
They were all out on DVD by the time I got around to
fandom.
So.
And some of those David Tennant specials, that was before Day and Date with BBC America, so you had to go to other sources to be able to watch it.
Yeah. So, as far as we know, unless someone wants to correct us, the first ever Doctor Who New Year's Day special. So, resolution, and I'm kind of with Sean where they should just tack on of the Daleks because we just need another R of the Daleks title to go with. There's Revelation of the Daleks, Resurrection of the Daleks,
Remembrance
of the Daleks,
and then there's a few. I think there's a few R ones in the Big Finish range.
Yeah, probably. So, although this one was just a single Dalek, though. So, all the others are multiple Daleks. This is a solitary Dalek.
Yes,
but still
and a very powerful solitary Dalek at that.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, I know some people who complain the fact that they were like no returning monsters, no returning villains. I know we talked about this when we did the our recap, our review of the entire season, but still, we kind of have to rehash some of this just because I know so a lot of people were complained and hesitant about the no returning monsters thing, which depending on how you want to look at it, technically. We did not have any returning monsters in season 11.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Or series 11, because as far as they were concerned,
this was a special.
The last episode was the series finale. Nice. So if you want to get semantic about it.
Yep.
Then there you go.
It wasn't a big deal to me because I was just thinking.
I mean, come on. We knew sooner or later Jodie Whittaker's doctor was going to have to
encounter a Dalek.
Exactly.
Yes. And eventually she's going to have to encounter a Cyberman just because that's what you do in Doctor Who.
Yeah, and maybe a version of the Master.
Maybe.
Hope.
Yeah. Maybe. Eccleston's doctor never encountered the Master, so.
Oh, that's true.
So.
Be fair, he didn't encounter the Cyberman either.
Nope, all he did was encounter Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
So. But that being said, I like the fact that one, this was a solitary Dalek. We have not gotten a lot of Dalek stories where it's just a single Dalek. We had Dalek again, Eccleston's era, where we had a single Dalek, and then the Matt Smith. Although that wasn't a single Dalek the entire time, but
no,
for
we had still Daleks.
Yeah, but until the Daleks remembered who the Doctor was, it was just the one Dalek with Churchill.
Yep.
So what story was that? I can't remember the name of the story.
There was the Daleks Take Manhattan with Tennant, where you had Dalek Sec, Dalek Khan.
Yeah.
And then one other one, and yeah.
Yeah. More often than not, if we get a Dalek story, it's at least a handful of Daleks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, then we had Rusty.
Yes, we did have Rusty. Journey to the center of the Dalek.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but this was a different Dalek. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a Dalek. It's still a homicidal maniac, hell-bent on taking over the universe.
Yeah, it took the levitation to the next level. It's almost like they also hacked into Tony Stark's.
Yeah. And I liked Sean's justification for that when the Dalek took off after rebuilding itself from essentially junk parts. Yeah, and Sean on the Traveling Guys review on Traveling the Vortex, and Sean was like, wait a minute, you were put together by scrap. And then Sean was like, no, wait, Tony Stark built an Iron Man suit in a cave in Afghanistan. Okay, that's fine.
Yep, exactly.
Justification accepted.
Yep. It's the new Hulk real stretchy pants.
Yes.
Yep, new headcanon.
Yep. They can do. And that was a scrapyard, Sean. Not a lumberjack.
Or farm.
Or farm.
Farm, yes.
There were no lumberjacks. There were no farms. It was a scrapyard. It was essentially the Dalek did what the Doctor did with the sonic screwdriver and the woman who fell to Earth.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It was like coming full circle.
We had MacGyver Doctor the first episode, and in the special we had MacGyver
Dalek, yeah. Exactly.
I like that. I like the look of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of steampunkish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I felt.
Meanwhile, Dalek builders around the internet are like, okay, how do I build this?
Exactly. Well, you felt kind of sorry for the gal who got possessed by the squid. But, you see, and she's going there. It's like, sweetheart, don't touch it.
Yeah.
That's red. That's Star Trek red shirt right there.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well.
Yeah. Well, even at the end, she's like, next time we encounter something creepy, you touch it.
Next time, what do you mean there's going to be the next time? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I was so worried for those two. Like, the first few minutes, like, ooh, I really like you guys. I'm interested, and you guys are going to die. Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm too used to this show. I know what's going to happen, and was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, usually with Doctor Who is like, hey, here's a character that, with what little character development you're going to get, you're really going to like, and then we're going to kill him. I'm like, oh. Because I thought that was going to happen to Ryan's dad.
Oh, me too.
I was thinking that too.
I was thinking, it's like, okay, he and his dad, not great relationship. Suddenly he's back. He's trying to make amends. Ryan's like, I'm not sure. Now they're out here in outer space. I'm like, is he going to sacrifice himself as kind of a, it's like, otherwise everybody's going to die and I can show my son that I really am a good man.
That's what
type
I
thing.
Or my thought was, it's like, okay, now that whatever, I think it was Lynn or whatever, when she's free of the Dalek, now is the Dalek going to possess Ryan's dad and sacrifice that way, or no choice but to bye Dad.
Yeah.
And I was afraid if that happened, what's gonna happen with Ryan?
Yep. But I was very happy that the fam kind of banded around Ryan when Dad showed up.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the doctor just just flat out told him, he's like, you didn't show up to your mom's funeral.
Yep.
You're a disappointment.
Yeah. Well, and I loved the doctor's, how she referred to the doorbell as an alert, a warning system. I'm like, that's a good way to look at it.
Not wrong.
No.
Yeah. Depending on how you feel about visitors,
Exactly.
I feel that way about sometimes when my text message alert goes off.
Yeah.
Who's texting me now?
Well, yes. Is this going to be good or is this going to be bad?
Yeah.
I liked Graham's reaction at first. Nope, wrong number. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
And then they take off in the TARDIS, and Ryan's dad and Graham are still there, and Graham comes back in the room, and he's like, they left without me.
Great.
And Graham was genuinely
the bus driver that knows everything and knows how to get information out of people, and you leave me behind.
He was genuinely offended that they left him behind.
Exactly.
I think he still would have been that offended even if they had not left him behind with his, his grandson's father, essentially his stepson-in-law.
Yeah.
I think that just made it worse.
Well, at least Ryan's dad didn't turn out to be a Pete in a way.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah, that's true. And the fact that pretty much everybody came out of it unscathed. So
people that we grew to like, the main crew and those two that we grew to like.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can go to the next season.
Everybody lives.
Yeah. Well, anyone
we cared about
a name.
There was quite a few deaths.
Yeah, anyone who had a name lived, but police officer, the scrapyard guy,
the military.
Yeah. Some random military.
Yeah,
Can we talk about how UNIT
I was
has been disbanded because of Brexit?
Brexit, yes. Even though it wasn't necessarily straight out said, you got the hint.
You kind of got the impression that it was because of Brexit.
Yeah, I thought like there was a post a lot. There was a few people that weren't too happy about that little jab.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the scene too with the police officer when they went to the car kind of reminded me of Men in Black just a little bit. When Kay had to go check out to see how Mama Alien was doing with baby.
Yeah.
I'm just like, please don't let me see a tentacle. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Not good, but
yeah. Yeah. It's like somewhere in universe.
Room.
Yeah. Somewhere in universe, Osgood is unemployed.
Yeah.
Unless she and Kate found a job in the private sector.
Mm-hmm.
Or units gone underground.
There we go.
Ooh, I hope they bring that back then. Like, I kind of want a story about that next season.
Maybe units teamed up with Torchwood.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
There's how we get Captain Jack back.
Yep. Hey. I'm kind of interested what would Captain Jack be like with 13th Doctor.
Oh, he'd still flirt with her. He'd still flirt with everyone. He doesn't discriminate.
No.
If you have a pulse, then Captain Jack is interested.
Yes. Just him saying hi could be dangerous.
Yes.
Because international universal galactic incidences with just one word.
Yeah. I said all you need is a smile and a well-placed hello from Captain Jack, and you can either end up dead or pregnant.
Exactly.
Or both.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And as we've seen in season 11 of Doctor Who, men can get pregnant in the Doctor Who universe, so no one is safe.
Mm-hmm. Well, then, and Captain Jack's come from the 51st century, so yeah.
Yep.
I just had the most random thought. Say a Time Lord, a lady, whatever, gets pregnant, but then regenerates while they're pregnant.
Ooh.
What happens?
They don't reproduce that way, but...
Oh, that's right. Duh, never mind. Ignore me.
Yeah.
I forget.
I guess...
There's so much lore.
Yeah. I guess if they could reproduce that way, that would be interesting. Mm-hmm. That's probably something for Big Finish to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure how, but dear
maybe
Nicholas
there's a
Briggs.
different race, not gotta frame it. Maybe there's like a different race of alien that regenerates as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's something there.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about it too much, though.
Probably. Or someone who can regenerate, but when they regenerate, doesn't change, like Jenny, the Doctor's daughter.
There you go. Yep.
So what would happen if she was pregnant and got killed and then came back?
Yeah.
Or Captain Jack, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. Science fiction is so weird.
It is.
Don't try to overthink it or think too hard.
Your brain will hurt.
Yes.
I've seen some of those tags for fan fiction.
Oh, I know.
But yeah, I think we all have.
Like, okay.
That's a conversation for another day.
Yep.
Oh, the stories we'll be able to tell when we get around to doing an episode about fan fiction.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, bye.
The good, the bad, the ugly, and the oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why
oh my gosh, does your mother know what you're doing?
Exactly.
Exactly. It appears, yeah, and to quote the doctor, clean out your browser history.
Yeah. There's a reason Tumblr has changed the way they're doing things now.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, back to Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Back to resolution of the Dalek. Oh my. What else? It was a good episode. I mean, I almost hate to say that it was a good episode because it felt like Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's putting down what Chibnall and Whittaker and everybody else did in the actual season. The fact that we finally got a classic monster everybody recognizes should not be the reason that this makes this better than everything else we saw. It could have other reasons why it was better. I mean, it definitely had some fun. Definitely had some funnier bits than some of the rest of the season has. The rest of the season has been quite serious, even with the awkwardness between Ryan and his dad. There were still some pretty funny bits, and even the once Jodie's doctor realizes that it's a Dalek, and her reaction to it is very Doctor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she obviously put her own spin on it, but still, you could just see in her eyes that, that right there just shows that she is still the same Doctor, the same Time Lord that has experienced and had encounters with these Daleks over and over and over and seen the devastation that these entities can cause. And how much heartbreak and history that the Doctor has with the Daleks. You can just see that in her eyes.
And it's just like, okay, for the umpteenth time, you're trying to do something, and for the umpteenth time, I got to try to figure out to stay 3 steps ahead of you and stop you. I mean, absolutely. I enjoyed this episode. I mean, I think my only quibble out of the whole thing was it wasn't the story. BBC America. Once again, we don't need those little clips of what's coming next.
Yeah.
It almost took me out of the story a few times because I was thinking, oh, it's back. I'm like, oh no, coming next. It's like, let me see it in the context that it's meant to be seen in. Sorry.
And one time, because it's usually a little tease, and this one was it was just the guy walking from the computer to whatever it was, it had nothing to do with, it had nothing going on. What's the point?
See, I'm not watching it live, so I don't get that.
Oh. Well.
You can consider yourself lucky that way, but for those of us who are watching it live,
that's interesting because I hadn't realized that was a thing that they were doing.
This is the first year that they've done it because I don't remember them doing it last.
I think I remember them before, but I could be wrong.
See, I think with Capaldi's last year, their little keep watching things where the actors were talking about the episode.
Oh yeah, kind of like a mini confidential.
Yeah, basically it was a little mini confidential, pull you in that way, more episode to come. Now that I wouldn't have minded.
Do you really need to be reminded that more episode is coming?
Yeah, it's another thing. It's why? Because normally during commercials, I'll get up, get something from the kitchen or do a little chore or something, and I'll hear it come back, and I can recognize the voices, so I run back in, and oh, it's that.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't like the fact that they, I mean, I know it was rumored and it had been on the internet that the Daleks were going to be in the special, but I kind of wish they had not put that in the teaser trailer.
Oh yeah, when it got close.
That would have been a nice surprise.
Yeah. I know Keith said, it's like once you saw the squid, the squid thing, it's like, yeah, you probably could have figured it out, but
yeah.
But still, it would have been a pleasant surprise considering, if you didn't know, especially if you don't know what's inside a Dalek.
Especially if it was your first time coming to New Who.
Yeah.
And not.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not very.
Well known.
Yeah. Because there's only been a couple of episodes where we've seen the inside of a Dalek, obviously in Dalek.
Right.
We saw it.
I don't think we saw the squid in Dalek. I think it was Daleks Take Manhattan.
I think we did see it in Dalek because didn't the casing open?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sorry.
We do see a Dalek, and then I don't know if we actually see like the full-on squid in the Manhattan episode, but I mean, once they're with the hybrids,
right.
You kind of get the, you see this. There's a very squid-like
and then
appearance with the hybrids. So.
Yeah, and then Stolen Earth Journeys, then I think we see squid, and then of course Davros shows up.
Yeah, well, Davros is his own thing.
Yeah.
So, little megalomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it was an enjoyable episode.
Yes.
Obviously there is some, I guess, sentimentality tied to the fact that it is the Daleks, and there's such a history there with the Doctor and the Daleks. But I mean, it could have still been maybe a fun episode even with a brand new monster.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, like, I like the Daleks fair amount, but like they're not my favorite villain. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, they're coming back. I don't get too excited.
Yeah.
But I did like this one. Like I said, I really liked the casing. Like,
but and I just like that it was a different type of Dalek too. We never had these kind of scout type Daleks before.
Sean used that for justification. Like, well, they're technically not a old monster because we've never seen these kind of Daleks before. Like,
well, and just for the fact too that supposedly this one was cut up into however many pieces and sent
3.
Yeah, and sent to different parts. It's like, okay.
Yeah. That was kind of cool.
Next time you might want to salt and burn, see if it helps.
Yeah. But if we don't get the Daleks back again, I'm fine with that. If Whittaker's Doctor doesn't encounter Cyberman, I am fine with that. I would be perfectly fine with that, seeing either of those for quite a while.
Though I wouldn't mind her running into the Ronnie.
Exactly. Again, I will die on that hill.
How many years in a row now have we wished for a running with the Ronnie?
I wished about it when we did the season recap. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that it's in the recording from PopCon with me and Brandon. That I talk about how I'd like to see the Ronnie come back. Like I said, that is a hill I am dying on until they finally bring her back.
That is a ship we will try to keep pushing out to sea.
Yes. And not even the ship, relationship ship. That is just
Like, I was trying to think of what would that be, a ship? Like, not like
not a relationship, but
I was just trying to make like a joke, but it failed because I couldn't think of anything clever.
Or we're waiting for that ship to come in.
Yeah,
there we go.
There we go. I am waiting for the Ronnie ship to come in.
That could be so much fun.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many other classic era monsters that
or baddies. I mean, Celestial Toy Maker, Meddling Monk.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, definitely the Meddling Monk, especially now that Gallifrey's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, the Gallifrey, bring those back as because there was times when they were not exactly good guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like it doesn't even have to be like Rassilon or Omega or anything. It just be Gallifrey and other Time Lords in general. Bring back Romana.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Oh. Bring back.
I've been sitting president for you long enough.
Yeah.
Here.
Do your job, Doctor.
Yeah, here. Your natives are getting restless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Romana, she's got other regenerations, so they can easily, cast someone else as another regeneration of Romana. I mean, there are other characters that we could bring back that obviously they would need to be recast because the actresses are too old. But bring back Leela.
Yeah, I think you were reading my mind, Rachel.
Oh. Or even Susan. I mean, Susan went back to Gallifrey during the Time War.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So.
Hey, I wouldn't mind seeing Ace.
Yeah.
No.
Depending on where we are in Ace's timeline, I mean, Sophie Aldred, I mean, she still looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All things considering, but it could be an older Ace and it would still work, so.
Yep.
So, Chibnall, we're giving you these ideas for free.
Yes.
We will gladly let you have them.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah, we don't want anything. We just want to see them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we wouldn't say no to a free invitation to Cardiff. Nope. So.
Oh, yes. Yes, that.
So, there you go.
Or a trip to the TARDIS set, one of the two.
Yeah.
Maybe we could be like under a sheet.
Yeah, we go to Cardiff. Free trip to Cardiff. I mean, that's really the only reason anybody would go to Cardiff anyway.
Fair. Or find Torchwood.
Yeah. Hello, anybody in? What's the dinosaur's name? It's a pterodactyl's name. I don't remember the name. Like, are you in? Do you need fed? When's the last time you got fed? We hear squawk from beneath the pavement. Nope. The pterodactyl needs feeding. Oh, science fiction, Doctor Who. So much potential. Oh. All right. Anything else about resolution? Doctor Who? It's going to be a long time until 2020.
Yes. I mean...
It is what it is.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we've got a crap ton of Big Finish.
That we do. And books.
Yes, and comics. So, just listen to our brother podcast. They will give you plenty of homework to keep you busy with Doctor Who related stuffs. Without Doctor Who actually being on. It's funny because we got a gift card to IKEA for Christmas, so I went and got a piece, and to replace a table that we had that was taking up its footprint was way too big. So we got one of those the cubed organizer things from IKEA, and I put the books that were on the table in there, and it's like, oh, I got room for more books. So then I moved the rest of my like fandom related books in there as well, and I have one cube that's nothing but Harry Potter, and another cube that's nothing but Doctor Who.
I'm thinking like I could probably do the same.
Yeah. Like, well, we can see what my big fandoms are.
Oh yes, I've got a three stand bookshelf. Doctor Who, Buffy.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. It's like, if if you're familiar with those IKEA pieces, I mean, those cubes are not tiny.
Mm-hmm.
Although half my Harry Potter collection are all hardbacks, so those do take up a amount of space.
I was gonna say, like, I have I don't have my full collection here, but I do have the big illustrated ones that they've been bringing out. So like, I have those 3 big ones.
Yeah, the only thing I don't have on the only Harry Potter I don't have on there is I have the Harry Potter the book, was it the book to screen or something like that? Mm-hmm. It's like a big like coffee table book. It doesn't fit in there, but other than that, the rest of my Harry Potter collection in there. So I do have a birthday coming up. If anyone wants to replace my Harry Potter books with a set that matches, I won't say no, because right now it's a combination of hardcover and softcover, and it kind of annoys me that they don't match. They're all the same cover illustration style, but it just annoys me because the hardcovers are so big and then the softcovers are so little.
Yeah. I wish I had like a lot of money because there's so many different versions now.
Yeah.
There's so many cool covers. Like, I want all of them. Like
it's like they have like the illustrated versions, and they have like the sets where it's like the house set. Yeah. So you can get a set that matches whatever house you're in. The Slytherin, just in case anybody didn't know that.
It's funny, like I've been looking like something like the foreign language ones, and there's a really cool cover. Like, I'm tempted to buy one. I do not know how to read that language, but the cover's cool.
I have all the Spanish.
You read Harry Potter enough times, you can figure it out.
I mean, that's true. Like, I was actually thinking, like, I've read Harry Potter enough times, and I have these English books. I could get like another one and like learn the language.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, the story well enough, so you would know what was going on. You just wouldn't know the exact words. That's one way to learn a foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
Read Harry Potter. Anyway. Oh my. This has been a very rambly episode. We're back, everybody. Mm-hmm. Woo! You know you missed us.
I know I missed it. I was
for the holidays. All right. Well, if anyone wants to comment on Doctor Who or my interview with Barry Bostwick or any of the 5 million other topics I think we've touched on in this episode, you can send us feedback. Easiest way to do that is go to our website, which is the5ishfangirls.com. From there, you can send us an email or leave comments. You will also find links to all our social medias, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. There is also and you can also leave us comments on any of those. You can also find the link to the Goodreads book page, because again, Traveling the Vortex, plenty of homework between them and the book club. There's plenty of Doctor Who content to keep all of us busy until 2020 and beyond, considering what the Big Finish has extended their license till 2025 or something like that. So we're not going to be hurting. So yeah, Goodreads Book Club, there is that. You can go vote on the poll for the next month's book and join in the discussion for this month's book, which is, since we weren't around for the month change, do you know off the top of your head, Holly?
It is this month's is 12 Angels Weeping, and then the book poll is all for the 13th Doctor books, A Good Doctor, Combat Magics, Molten Heart, and The Secret in Vault 13.
Cool. Yep. So there is that, and then also on our website is our Amazon affiliate link. So if you wish to support us financially and you shop on Amazon, you can click on that link and then fill your cart, check out, and we get a small kickback from your purchase. It doesn't cost you any more. You can use Amazon Prime if you're a Prime member. There's also the link to our Patreon. So like I was saying earlier, when we have something to share on Patreon, we try to, or something to share with our listeners, we try to share that with our Patreon supporters first. So you get things like the Barry Bostwick interview ahead of time. So Chauncey got to listen to it days ago. Everyone else is going to hear it on this episode. So there is our Patreon, and we're very grateful to our Patreon supporters. And then there's also the link to our merchandise on Redbubble. So, and now that I am back to a regular sleeping schedule, kind of, I'm back on the schedule. Whether I've adjusted back to it is another thing. But now that I'm back to my regular schedule, I can go back to the finishing out those Doctor shirt designs for the rest of the Doctors. So there is that. So if you want to buy merch with our logo on it, and then I'm working on other designs right now. There's some Doctor Who related ones. You can purchase that. So, and all of the money that we make from however you financially support us goes right back into keeping the show going. So, like our website domain renewal that happened at the end of the year. So we own the5ishfangirls.com for another year. Yay! Woo! Which is good because it's on everything. All right. And then if, speaking of feedback and joining in the conversation, if anyone wants to jump in next week's conversation, next week will probably be kind of a big show as well, because we will be doing our annual fandom year in review. So if there's anything that stands out in 2018 fandom wise that you want to talk about, the good, the bad, the ugly, the 10 o'clock news, the snapping. That wasn't notable at all.
You realize we're going to be talking about a similar subject at the end of next year.
Yes, the fixing of the snapping. Yeah, it crossed over into 2019. I'm like, yay, the snapping's going to get fixed.
Like, I'm like excited, but I'm also like, I'm scared because how are they going to fix it?
Yeah. And at what cost?
The repercussions? Yeah, and what are the repercussions of said fixing? Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to worry about that till the end of April. So
yeah.
But yeah, our annual fandom year in review episode where we look back at the entire year and discuss the notable things that have happened in our fandoms. So looking forward to that. So, Alrighty then. So with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Beth. I'm saying goodnight.
This is Alex from Wisconsin saying good evening.
This is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Don't touch squishy things in sewers.
Bad idea.
Listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. You can find more episodes and information at thefivishfangirls.com. Any and all books, movies, games, and any other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied. If you wish to support the show, the easiest way is to leave us a rating and review on iTunes. More ratings and reviews will make it easier for others to find the show. If you wish to support us monetarily, you can do so at patreon.com/5ishfangirlspodcast. All money goes towards fees and equipment to keep the show going. For official Five-ish Fangirls merchandise, visit redbubble.com/people/5ishfangirls. We love hearing from our listeners and encourage feedback. You can email us at fiveishfangirls@gmail.com. You can also like and follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/5ishfangirls. Thank you so much for listening, and may the squee be with you.